Good morning, everybody. My hair's kind of all over the place. It is so windy out there. I took Rosie out ahead of time so that we wouldn't have her whining at me during our video, and now she's over here on her little bed, her little round poofs, sound asleep, so you might hear her snoring. And those of you who don't know who Rosie is, she is my Chihuahua. She is a rosy red Chihuahua, sound asleep. Well, welcome to Coffee and Crochet with Sara and all of my Yarnie family. Because remember, I can't do this without you. We do this every Tuesday, 10:30 a.m. Central Time, because I live in Oklahoma. I have for about 2.5 years now. And, I originally from Oklahoma, then we were in Colorado for about 12 years, and now we're back in Oklahoma. It is gorgeous outside, beautiful blue sky, but oh my goodness, it is windy. And I don't know if some of you heard about what happened over the weekend here in Oklahoma, but on Friday, my granddaughter's spring break started on Friday. It runs through this week and through the next Monday. And so I told the girls, I said, Aiden, of course, wanted to work, so he went to work with his mom. And so the girls, I went to pick up Callie, and it was windy. I felt the car pulling a little bit, and she lives in Mustang. And then I went to pick up Zoe, who lives in Yukon, but about 5 miles up from me. Okay, and so I went to pick up Zoe. Everything was fine, but boy, it was getting windy. And when we came out of Zoe's house, the sky was just gray. I mean, it was gray. And I thought, this is odd. It kind of reminds me of some of those movies of the Dust Bowl days in Oklahoma. And if you don't know anything about that, look it up. It was a scary time. Okay, and so anyway, we decided we were going to go to Walmart, pick up something. I needed to get Rosie some food and just, shop around, see what we could find. And then we were going to hit a couple other stores and then grab some lunch. Well, we came out of Walmart and it was blowing so hard. I always take a big bag when I go shopping with the girls because they have snacks and treats and things that need to go in my bag. And anyway, the wind caught my bag and it blew it up, and I thought I was Mary Poppins. I kid you not. I thought I was Mary Poppins for about 5 minutes. That wind caught me and it blew me right off my feet, and I had to grab a pole. It was literally like a comedy routine. I'm telling you, I was grabbing a hold of that pole, and the girls were laughing so hard, and I was laughing so hard I thought I was going to wet my pants. That's how hard I was laughing. It was so funny, but I could not get my feet on the ground, and these two gentlemen that I don't know who they are, but one of them was a really handsome man. Anyway, they came over to help us a little bit, but by then the wind had died down just a little bit, and we were able to get into the car, but I could not get my car door open. My older granddaughter had to pull the door open so I could get inside. It was so funny. It was nuts. And then, of course, it blew, so I think they said 85 to 90 mile an hour winds. And so we decided just to not go to any other stores and go shopping, just to grab some lunch. We ended up going to Freddy's because I like their shoestring French fries. I'm not supposed to have them, but I did. So we hung out at Freddy's for a while, but the wind was just getting worse and worse and worse. And so we just ended up going back to my house. But oh my word, it was hilarious. And it was also kind of scary. By the time we got back to my house, which I'm going to say is maybe 5 minutes from where we were up in Yukon at Freddy's, by the time we got to my house, the whole area was just gray. And there were fires breaking out, and on the other side of Oklahoma City and Guthrie, and I think some other places, and it was just crazy. Well, then we're watching the news, and there were tornadoes also. They didn't come over by where we were, of course. They were on the other side. But oh my goodness, we tried to take Rosie outside to go potty. I was afraid that the wind was going to pick her up and take her off. And we're like hovering around her so she can go potty. And she's like looking up at us like, what are you guys doing? Well, we did finally get her back in the house. And then we sit down at the kitchen table and we're like, You know, so we decided to end up playing some. I had this game called Uno Attack and Uno Flip. If you've never played games with people, we love to play Uno and games and stuff. We laughed so hard that day. It was another one of those days where our cheeks hurt so hard because we laughed so hard. It was a scary day, but it was also a fun day. But anyway, it was nuts. I have never, the last time I've seen gray sky like this was when we were visiting in Las Vegas, probably 20 years ago. My mother and father-in-law lived in Las Vegas, and we were visiting, and they had what they called a monsoon wind, and it was gray wind, and what happens is when that dust hits you in the face, it's like 1,000 needles, you know, and it hurts. And so anyway, that was our adventure on Friday. It was crazy. So anyway, I hope that you'll continue to think about Oklahoma. We do still have some fires going on, and we still are under a no burn ban. And so we could probably use some good rain. But anyway, let's clink in. Clinkety, clink, clink, clink. I've got one of my favorite cups again. Isn't this beautiful? This is one of the ones from Pioneer Woman Mercantile. It's a good, thick, hearty cup. I was going to bring my water jug in here with me also, but I had so many things I had to carry. I left it sitting on the dining room table, but that's okay. I will definitely get my water in. All right. Now today I'm going to announce the winner of our spring green giveaway, and I'm super excited about this. These are lots of fun shades of green. And it's so funny because I was sitting here this morning starting to get ready, and I thought, oh, I forgot to choose my winner. So I go over really quick to the Google Translate, no, not the Google Translate, random generator. And I use Google Translate a lot because I get people who don't speak English that leave comments. So I use Google Translate to translate their language, whether it's French or Spanish or Italian or whatever, into English so that I can answer their questions. So I had that on my mind because I did that this morning as well. So anyway, I got our winner picked, and we're going to announce that in just a few minutes. But before we do that, I'm going to take a breath. I'm talking way too fast. I do that. You know, y'all know me. I do that. I talk way too fast. So let's calm it down a bit. And I want to tell you about our shout out of the week. And I found this person. It was kind of funny. Someone had recommended another person with this same YouTube channel, but I had already recommended that YouTube channel. And then I saw this one had the same name, but it was, of course, a different person. Okay, and so our shout out of the week is Teresa, and she has a YouTube channel called Critters Crochet. There are 2 Critters Crochets out there, and they're both really cool. But this particular lady is Teresa, and this is what she says. I love everything about crochet. I want to share my passion with you. My videos consist of tutorials, weekly makes, and fun things going on in my life. I enjoy, whoops, I missed a word. I hope you enjoy these videos and that they inspire you. All right, so I think you'll really like her. It's fun. I love it when I'm looking for one thing and I find another neat channel. There are just so many wonderful crochet channels out there. And I know we can't watch all of them on a weekly basis. And I do try on Wednesdays. I try to spend about an hour and a half just going through, looking at other YouTube channels and checking them out. And I really, really enjoy it. And there's a lot of really wonderful people out there doing a lot of fun things with crochet. So go over to Teresa, Critters Crochet. I have her link posted underneath this video in that description box. Okay, and when you go over there, like, subscribe, and boop that bell. This bell says ring for coffee. And don't forget to boop my bell as well, okay? I used to say ring that bell, then I heard somebody else say boop that bell, so I guess I kind of took their line. I just thought it was super cute. Okay, all right. That's our shout out of the week. Again, Teresa Critters Crochet, and her link is underneath this video in that description box. Now, I'm going to announce the winner. And just a reminder, let me click over to what we got here. You're going to get one of our zipper bags, and this is one that was a second. That's why the words are all still on there. It just has a line through it. When they did and this is a heat, put on here by heat. It's not an iron-on, okay? So you can put it through the wash, but I don't. But anyway, it just had a line through it, and so it is a second. And I found a whole bunch of leftover coffee and crochet bags. I've got some other types also that I'm going to be giving away this year in our giveaways. And so this bag has coffee and crochet on the front, and it has the heart on the back. And you can see it's not exactly lined up, and that's why I called it a second. It's still a wonderful bag. It's a great canvas bag. You can put your crochet things in. Now, you're going to get 8 skeins in different shades of green. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Some light greens. This one's kind of a pea green. This is a bright green. We've got a foamy green here. And they're all different types of yarn. These are bulky 5s. Let me see if I can find them. Oh, it's so tiny. These are bulky 5s, this one and this one. This one is also a bulky 5. And then you've got some medium weight number 4s. Impeccable Yarn Bee. I love this yarn, and this is called Yarn Bee. Okay, so 8 skeins of yarn and this fun canvas bag is our giveaway. All right, now, are you ready to hear the winner? Where's my drum rolls? All right, now, just a reminder before I say the winner, do not put your email address, your shipping address, or your phone number, or any personal information in a comment anywhere that is live, meaning don't put it on Facebook, don't put it on Twitter or X or LinkedIn or YouTube. I'm trying to think of the other one, Facebook and Instagram. Don't put it anywhere like that, okay? When I announce the winner, what I want you to do is go underneath this video, and you can click where it says website, and you can click the contact me, and it will shoot me an email. If you don't want to do that, you can go to my Facebook page, Posh Pooch Designs. That link is also underneath this video, okay? And you can shoot me a message. Okay, and the reason I do it this way is because I don't know you and I don't have any of your personal information. So what you need to do is contact me. So far, I've only had one person that I had to find, and that person decided they didn't want what I was sending. So, which is weird. Anyway, they hadn't watched me but once or twice, I guess. And so anyway, that doesn't matter. But anyway, you contact me. And as soon as you contact me, I'll get it out as quick as possible because I love to get them out quickly. All right. So, are you ready? There's the drum rolls. The name of our winner is Linda Padilla. Linda, Linda, Padilla, Padilla. Isn't that a pretty name? It sounds Italian. I don't know if it is. I'm terrible with foreign languages. My brain cannot figure them out. We lived in Germany for almost 4 years when my husband was in the Air Force. And I learned to speak German just on the economy from my neighbors and other people. But if I went back there today, I don't think I could still speak it. Anyway, moving right along. Congratulations, Linda. Please contact me. I didn't see your name earlier, so we'll see. And if you know her and you don't see her, let her know. She's our winner. 8 skeins of green yarn and our Coffee and Crochet with Sara bag. Okay? Now, this is just a wrinkle, by the way. It is just a wrinkle. You could probably grab your iron and get that out of there without any problem. But anyway, that's our giveaway. Now, I did have some questions about why I do the giveaways like I do. Why do I announce the winner on the 3rd week of the month and maybe not the end of the month? And I do it this way because I want to. Does that make sense? No, okay. So because I want you to get your gift during that month. In other words, the first Tuesday of each month, I announce what the giveaway is. And it's been lots of different things. I've had some wonderful things donated from different companies and different people, and just some really neat things donated. I mean, I've been so surprised at how wonderful and giving people are. And so, excuse me. And so I will announce it on what it is on the first Tuesday of the month. And then you get 2 weeks to comment, and you need to comment on that first video. That's all you have to do. You don't have to send me a message. You don't have to comment on any other place, but on that first Tuesday of the month video. Then I take all those names 2 weeks from that Tuesday, which would be today, and then I put it in that random generator, and your name comes up. If you've won in the last year or so, sometimes a name has come up and it's been 2.5 years. It's okay. Okay. But because I want to try to make it fair for everybody. That's why we check my list. And I had someone tell me that the same person wins every week or every month, and they haven't, not even in 2.5 years. I think 2.5 years ago is when the name came back up. But anyway, I make sure your name hasn't come up, and then I just announce your name. And then it's up to you to contact me. Because like I said, I don't have any of your personal information. And the way I do that is once you tell me you've received your box, then I just delete your email. I don't keep any of your information. I don't give it to anybody or do anything with it, okay? Because there's enough spam and junk out there and stuff. I don't want you guys, any of you, to be bothered with any of that. Because there's nothing, I don't think there's nothing that makes me more upset than the amount of spam that comes through my email. It is ridiculous. I think I get I get several hundreds of email a day. And probably 1/3 of it is spam. I hate it. And I don't use the word hate very often. You know me. I don't even like that word. But I hate spam, okay? All right. Well, congratulations, Linda. Contact me just as soon as you can. Because like I said, I love to get them out quickly. And the reason that, like I said, that I do it on the 3rd week of the month is because I want you to get it during the month. I want you to get it during the month of March. Okay? Like each month, I try to do that. That way, if it takes a little longer, if it takes an extra week even, you're going to get it within that month. But I always send it priority. I know it costs a little bit more, but I have rarely ever, that I can even remember, except one time, that a person didn't receive it. And that was because the address was incorrect and it went to the wrong house. Okay? But, they had accidentally given me transposed their numbers. It happens. Okay? So, like I said, that's the way I do it. And the bottom line is I just want to do it that way. That's why I do it. Okay, so the next thing we're going to talk about is the yarn of the month. And again, this is one of those things where Premier has brought out a brand new yarn, and I haven't received any of them yet. And I didn't get a chance to do any ordering this week because my budget wouldn't let me. I'm just tossing these over in this box so I can get them boxed up for the winter. And I'm going to toss that bag over there because we're going to use the iPad again to show you what the new yarn is. It's called Flora, and it's absolutely gorgeous. All right, let's click over here. All right, I'm going to try to bring this up a little bit more. The problem that happens is that light wants to hit it. There we go. All right, so this is the new yarn. It's called Flora. All right, I'm going to bring this up here because they have 3 new yarns. We talked about the sock kit, like it calling socket. We talked about the extra large parfait, which I am dying to order some of that. I've got to wait a little bit longer before my budget will let me, but once I do, I will show it to you. Okay, and then this is the new one, Flora. This is absolutely gorgeous yarn. I'm going to try to get that up there. This is the one I thought was so pretty, was this one. This is called Blush. It's a soft pink, and you can see it's got little speckles in it. And look at this one. This is called Roses. Isn't that gorgeous? There's a red one, Poppy. And then here's the Thistle. It's kind of a lavender. This one's called Navy. It's a dark navy. And here we have Moss. I almost said Moses. moss. That's kind of a soft yellow. Then here we have this white that's called Sky. It actually is a real light blue, but it just a very little bit of blue in it. It's so pretty. And then here's another blue one called River. This is Taupe. It's kind of a light beigey color. And then this is Butter. Looks just like butter. And all of these have, here's this one. This is Goldenrod. This one is absolutely gorgeous. Look at that color. And then here we have Caramel or Caramel, whichever you want to call it. And then we're back to the blush. Okay, these are $4.99 a piece. And here's our information. There's 12 colors. Now this is something I thought was really cool. 85% acrylic and 14% rayon from bamboo. I love working with bamboo. It's super soft. And then 1% nylon. Each skein has 3.5 ounces and it's a bulky number 5. Isn't that beautiful? It's got specks in it. I don't know if you can see the specks. See the specks in it? It almost reminds me of the pom-pom yarn. And anyway, I cannot wait to get some of that. Oh, it's just gorgeous yarn. And I do really like working with bulky number 5 yarns. Although I think my favorite will always be medium weight number 4s. But because I just make so much of it, and it's easy to work with. But I also really, okay, let's get real here. I love any kind of yarn. I'll work with anything. And I love even the ones that are weird and hard to work with. I love those the most. Because it's a challenge, But anyway, these are gorgeous yarns. And I can't wait to get some in. I'm hoping maybe, because see, this is the 18th of March. Maybe next week I'll be able to order some. I try to stay on budget, but Premier just keeps making all this gorgeous yarn, and it's really hard. Because I love their yarns, and y'all know that. So, and they're really good priced. I think they're really priced well. I do wish Walmart and Hobby Lobby would carry Premier. I really do. I wish there was a way we could tell them that. And even Michael's. Of course, we can't tell Joann's because Joann's went bye-bye. Someone told me that they were bought, but when I checked into it, they bought them just literally just to buy all their stock and just to sell it all off. They're not going to reopen Joann's. And I'm really disappointed in that, but we're going to have to move along, okay? So that's the new Yarn of the Week. I hope that you'll click my link underneath this video. Go underneath this video and click my Premier link and go and look at it and bring those yarns up close with your computer or your tablet. It is so beautiful. You've got to look at it because it's got those specks. Every one of them has the specks going through it. That's the nylon that's wound in there. It's just gorgeous. Just gorgeous. Okay. So we're doing great on time. Now, the next thing I want to talk to you about is what happened this week at Posh Pooch Designs. And I want to show you this. Last week we did a video on Wednesday for our This and That video, and I called it The Anatomy of a Granny Square. And I did several different granny squares using the same yarn, and I did them several different ways. And then I talked about why do we sometimes do a chain 2 or chain 1 or not between our clusters of 3, and why do we sometimes do two double crochets in our clusters, and why do we do them different? And this is really just the basic granny square, because I mean, like I said in the video, there are a gazillion kinds of granny squares, and just because I've had so many questions about it, what's the purpose of chain 1, chain 2, or no chains between? What's the purpose of the amount? Because I've even seen granny squares that have 4 double crochets in their clusters because they want a nice chunky granny square. Okay, and so I talk about all of that on the video. And if you have any questions about granny squares, I don't actually make one. I do have videos in my YouTube playlist on how to make a basic granny square, if you want to look at that. But anyway, I just had so many questions. I wanted to hit that topic. Now tomorrow, I'm going to be answering a bunch of questions that I've gotten about yarn labels and what do some of the symbols mean. And I know I've talked about this before, but what I'm going to do is tomorrow I'm going to basically talk about the symbols that talk about the weight and the crochet hook or the needle and all that stuff. And then next week, we're going to talk about what the rest of the symbols mean and how to wash things and how we wash things. So I'm going to be doing it in kind of a two-part thing. Tomorrow's video is going to be just basically about the yarns and the symbols. And I guess it's all about the yarns, but about the symbols then on there and how to read the yarn labels and things like that. And it'll be a two-part series tomorrow and then next Wednesday also. Okay, so that's what we did and what's coming. And you're right, Janet, the symbols can be very confusing. And the thing is, a lot of yarn companies don't do them all the same. And and the truth of the matter is, I don't know why they don't do them the same, because it'd make it a lot easier for everybody if they would just do them the same. Okay, but anyway, that's a whole nother subject. All right, now the next thing that we did was we did our spring green Granny Square ombre bucket hat. And I've got stockinette here. I knocked her over, so I messed up her hair. When I sat down, I hit her stand and knocked her over. But this is our spring green bucket hat. Oh, man, look at that. I'm sorry, stockinette. People can't see your beautiful eyes. Okay, so this is just really a basic bucket hat. Used ombre green yarn. I'm going to show you that yarn real quick, what I used. I got it right here. This is the Premier Just Yarn Ombre. I love this green because it has a little bit closer colors, where the gradient yarn that they did has longer colors. And I think it's perfect for this hat. Now, people have asked me, can you do this in cotton? Well, you certainly can. It'll be a cooler hat, but remember, cotton absorbs moisture, so if you're sweaty, the hat's going to absorb the sweat. Just an FYI. Okay, so, but the neat thing about this hat is this, right here, this button. And you can change the appliques simply, so I can get the camera on there, simply by taking the flower off, because all the appliques are made with a hole in the center. Okay, and then for St. Patrick's Day, you can just button on a clover. And you can do this with any applique that has a circle in the middle, like a heart or a butterfly that you want to add. And someone posted, let's get crazy and put 2 buttons. And that would be awesome. You could add 2 buttons, And so I show you how to securely button that on and also how to make the flower and the clover. And it's just a really fun project. Now this fits 22 to 24 inch head. It is a roomy hat. And so if you want it a little snugger, just go down a hook size or 2. And if you need it a little looser, go up a hook size. It'll loosen it up. So that's kind of how you can size this. It is not made for children. It's for small heads. But you know what? My granddaughter, when she was 6, had a bigger head than I do. Okay, so keep that in mind. And just measure the head of the person you're making it for, and you can adjust it with your hook sizes. All right, isn't that gorgeous? I just love it. I think this is going to be my new garden hat because I just love it. All right, I'm going to set her down and put these appliques back up here. All right, and then on Monday, we did a Scrap Happy pattern. And this is our Scrap Happy lace wrap. Let me bring her in a little closer here. There we go. And it's really pretty. You can see it's got a lace pattern. And we stitch it rows. Once you get going, it's a 2-row repeat all the way around. So if you want it even wider, you can add more rows. And all we do to attach the center here is we make this chain using 2 strands, add some beads if you want to, and then just tie a knot. And we do a loop knot. That way you can take the knot out if you don't want it there. If you want it to be without this, don't put it on there. You can always add a button and button it over. You can always add a ribbon, or you can just add some tacks as far as, sew it so that it always stays that way. I like doing it this way. That way, if I just want to wear it as a wrap over my shoulders, I don't have to use the tie. But if I want to wear it with, like, say, a sundress or a tank top like this one, or maybe a strapless dress and you just want something on your shoulders, And it just depends on the fabric that, or the yarn that you use. And what we did with this is I just got in my yarn stash and I pulled out a bunch of light 3, which is a DK weight. I'm going to turn this around so you can see the back. There we go. And some of the yarn, I don't know if you can see it, but this peach here is a sparkle. Okay. And then I think this is sparkle also. Yeah, it is. And then over here is not. It's just plain blue. And I tried to go with colors that I thought were kind of springy, but not bright. What I would call a pastel spring. Yes, I pinned my shirt because she's skinnier than I am. Okay. This model, by the way, is a size 12, just so that you know. But anyway, I think it's beautiful. It's got lots of beautiful colors. I used some variegated over here. I used some solids. And just whatever I had on hand and some beautiful spring colors. So the thing is, you don't have to do it as a scrap happy project, but it is a great way to use up a bunch of your light 3 DK weight yarns. And I did this in cotton because I was thinking summer, spring, but you can use acrylic as well, as long as you don't mix them. Remember, don't mix cotton and acrylic or you end up, when it gets wet, the cotton's going to absorb, okay? But, yes, you could use a pin. You could use a shawl pin. That would be beautiful on there. Or just even a brooch, you know, to pin it together. You know, there's lots of great ways to do it. This would be beautiful done all in like a white to wear over a fancy dress. Or maybe you've got one of those sparkle silver yarns. That would be beautiful. Any 3 weight yarn will work for this. Now, one person asked me if they could use a medium weight number 4. And I don't recommend it because it's going to be a different size. It's not going to work up the same. Okay. And so I really recommend that you use a light number 3 for this project. And the whole thing of it is that it needs to be open and lacy and perfect for spring and summer or even fall. It would be great in fall colors just to add a little extra, you know. I always love to have something with me when I go to restaurants, when I go to church, when I go to the library, anytime. I mean, even Walmart the other day was like freezing cold, and that is weird, okay? So they're almost always super hot. Anyway, so it's a really great versatile style wrap, okay? But it has a really long name. It's our Scrap Happy Spring Wrap. Not as long as the hat, the name of the hat. Anyway, it's just a really super fun and quick project. I would say if you've got someone that's going to go to the prom and they're maybe wearing strapless or spaghetti strap, this would be a great thing just to add when they come out if it's cool on their shoulders that evening. Sometimes summer nights can be very cool. And spring nights and winter evenings, you know. So it's just a great all-around wrap to have, I think. It's nice to have on hand. And we used up our scrap yarns to make something beautiful. Okay, so Linda's got a list of things she's making. That's cool. And that's what I do too. If you all could see what's going on inside my brain and what I have written down in my books, because I keep books like design books and idea books, and I keep them with me because I might be sitting in a restaurant and see someone wearing a really cool hat, and I write, oh, I like that hat, and I sort of make a quick sketch of it, or I like that shawl, or I like her socks, you know. I always have a way to write it down, get my, you know, or a color or something. My brain is crazy. I have so much going on in there when it comes to art. Okay, so that's what we did this week. Now, the last thing I want to leave you with is on this Friday for Friday Fun Day, we're going to be making the Joy Bear Easter dress, the one that the bears are wearing over there. I don't know if you can see her. Yeah, there it is. Her dress. Aw, her bow fell over. I better fix that. We're going to be making the Joy Bear Easter dress. I am working on, I've got all the measurements and everything for making our bear for our crochet along. I haven't decided when we're going to do it yet because I've got to get all the components together and do, you know, work up a test one and all of that stuff. But we'll probably do it this summer sometime. it'll be a good project to do if you want to give a bear to somebody for Christmas. And I don't want to wait until the 1st of December to do it. You know what I'm saying? So, and then I also have some outfits planned. I'm already planning on a pair of shorts and a top for Gabe, our boy bear in the middle. And then we can use those shorts for the underpants for our girl bears. Because like I said, my granddaughter told me I have to have underpants if they're going to wear a dress, okay? So it's going to be, excuse me, it's going to be a lot of fun. I think we're going to have a lot of fun making clothes for our bears and then making a bear as well. Now, I did want to tell you, my daughter, or no, was it my daughter? Maybe it was my sister told me she saw some of the, she saw several bears. Some of the, they may not be Build-A-Bears, but she saw some bears that were about the same size. It's a 16-inch Build-A-Bear bear. It doesn't have to be a Build-A-Bear bear, okay? But they're just your regular teddy bears that have arms and legs and aren't all like short and stumpy. And they're not the ones that are already sitting, you know. So anyway, it doesn't have to be a bear even. It can be a cat. It can be a dog. We talked about it being a frog last week. A lion, you know, whatever you want to do. Okay. And it's just going to be a lot of fun. And I hope that you'll all join our Coffee and Crochet with Sara Facebook page and post pictures of the things that you crochet. And I know a lot of people aren't big on Facebook right now because of all the stupid cloning of people's pages and the spam and the nonsense and the stupid stuff going on that for some reason they can't get it right. But anyway, again, I don't want to be negative. So, but if you go to the Coffee and Crochet with Sara not Facebook page, Coffee and Crochet with Sara group. It's a group, not a page. And ask to join. You need to answer those 3 questions, but it's a safe place. Between me and Rita and Kim, we are constantly looking for spam, constantly looking for fake people, and we don't let you in unless you answer those 3 questions. And so we want it to be a safe place where you will feel safe. Post the pictures of the things that you made. Interact with other crocheters. Okay? And when someone, and we don't allow any negativity. It's all positive. All positive, because we want everybody to feel comfortable and safe in that crochet group. Because we love crochet. And there's no room for unkindness or negativity. Okay? And there's no need for I've said spam about 100 times on this video. But there's no need for it. And I don't understand why Facebook can't get a hold of it and stop it. But anyway, that's a whole nother subject, as I say. Alrighty. Well, that is all I've got for you today. I know that was a lot of information. And again, Linda, congratulations. Contact me and we'll get that box all packed up. Packed out. We'll get it all packed up and send it to you, okay? Well, thank you all for watching today. I love you all. And like I said, I can't do any of this without you. I can't. I just can't. So thank you so much for being a part of Posh Pooch Designs. Thank you so much for being a part of Coffee and Crochet with Sara. Thank you for being a part of Sara Sach Crochet Designs. It's a lot there, but I'm just really thankful, and I'm just so happy and glad that you guys want to be a part of it. I love seeing all the new names. I love seeing all the names I recognize. It's fun. It's just fun. And I hope that you have a good time, and it's a place where you can get away from all the cares of the world for just about 38 minutes. I'm over a little bit. Alrighty, so I'll see you next week, guys. Have a great week.